The phrase "putting on a clinic" has never been more aptly applied to anyone than Iowa junior Caitlin Clark, who showed the basketball world just how it's done in the 2023 NCAA Tournament. With back-to-back 41-point performances, she propelled herself to the top of the NCAA Tournament all-time scoring list while leading the Hawkeyes straight through to the national championship game, positioning her as one of the most promising athletes in all of college sports. But it's not just what she does, it's how she does it. Clark is a highlight reel machine. Her main claim to fame: she can shoot from almost anywhere, drawing comparisons to Warrior superstar Steph Curry. And she's the high queen of trash talk, with her gestures and on-court personality becoming instant memes. How did Caitlin Clark establish herself as one of basketball's most exciting rising talents? Sit back, relax, and take this in. The name Caitlin Clark was unavoidable this March, the homegrown Iowa talent dominating the college basketball headlines with her remarkable all-around game while leading the number 2 seed Hawkeyes on a historic run, carrying them all the way to the national championship game where they ultimately fell to LSU, coming up short of their first NCAA national title. Clark was already considered one to watch before the tournament even began. The 6-foot guard had a reputation for being a playmaker with a scoring touch and the stats to back that up. She had 4 triple-doubles heading into the 2023 NCAA Tournament. In the same season, she also became just the second NCAA Division I women's basketball player to reach 2,000 career points in 75 games, which tied her for fastest pace with the WNBA's legendary Elena Del Don. And last year in the 2021-22 season, she made history as the only Division I player to ever lead the country in points and assists in the same season. She's also racked up just about every accolade imaginable this year. She was named the USBWA National Player of the Year, the Naismith National Player of the Year, the AP Player of the Year, and also voted Big Ten Player of the Year for a second consecutive season. And her ability to make shots from almost anywhere on the court has people saying she looks more than a bit like one of the NBA's most dominant guards ever, Steph Curry. Whether it's taking on the challenge of a deep three, shooting from mid-range, or plowing through the paint straight to the rim, Clark will go wherever the opportunity takes her. 2023's NCAA Tournament served as a coming-out party of sorts for Clark, where she really announced herself to the masses by dropping a 41-point triple-double in a Hawkeyes Elite 8 win over number 5 seed Louisville. But once wasn't enough for Caitlin Clark, who then took on defending champion South Carolina in the Final Four and dropped another 41 points to lead her team to a 77-73 upset against the previously undefeated Gamecocks. That feat made history as the first instance of consecutive 40-plus point games in the women's tournament. That meant a first ever title game appearance for Iowa, and Clark capitalized on the moment by breaking the all-time tournament scoring record in NCAA Division I women's and men's basketball. Entering the game, she was 16 points away from stealing the record from Cheryl Swoops, who topped the leaderboard for 30 years, and just 23 points behind Glenn Rice's record on the men's side, which has been in place for 34 years. She finished with 191 points, setting the new high watermark. That effort wasn't enough to score a victory for the Hawkeyes, but her brilliance throughout played a big role in drawing more eyeballs than ever to the women's tournament. This year's tournament marked the most watched women's semifinals in NCAA history and the most watched college basketball games ever on ESPN+. Bolstered by a rivalry between LSU and Clark, the final matchup was dramatic in all the right ways, with stunning on-court brilliance and bold trash talk. Fans paid big money to see that live. Secondary market ticket prices ranged from $389 to over $3,000. Clark won't be eligible for the WNBA draft until 2024, so while her path forward most certainly includes professional basketball, she'll likely get one more shot at the tournament before that day comes. Not that she's in a hurry. Clark's already one of the highest paid women's college athletes in the country, coming in at number 9 on the women's basketball NIL rankings with a valuation of $192,000. In 2023, the highest paid WNBA athletes earned $234,936. Not that far off from what Clark's already pulling in. As she charts her course forward in the women's game, it's become obvious that Caitlin Clark has all the pieces in place to become basketball's next household name.